What up guys, welcome to angelasavalon's YouTube channel. I'm Angela. Subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment down below, leave your feedback and any questions you have. And today or tonight, whenever it is that you're watching this video, this is currently nighttime. It's about 9 p.m. where I'm at currently. And yeah, so in this video I'm going to talk about Mercury in Virgo. This is gonna be either a part 2 or just a second version of the video. Maybe I'm gonna title it a part 2, but I'm not sure yet. So anyways, if you haven't watched my previous video about this placement, you can go watch that first if you'd like. And yeah, so let's get into it. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It's the planet of communication, speech, or way of thinking, or rational mind, or logic, or close environment or neighborhood. It is the planet that also rules siblings. Mercury rules our siblings, rules siblings, and neighbors, right? And it basically rules the hood, but whatever. Anyways, Mercury and Virgo is actually ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is pretty much at home here, and it's very much exalted, like I mentioned in the previous video about this placement. And so in this video, I'm just gonna mention all the elements that I haven't got to mention in the previous part, in the previous video. In part 1, I'm probably gonna title this part 2. So Mercury in Virgo people, they are very much, they are people of routine. They're people of routine and they like structure. They are people that love to plan out their days. Okay? Because like I said, they are basically ruled by routine. So because Virgo rules routine, and it's when it's placed in the mind here with Mercury, these people like to follow routine and they like to plan. So these people, the majority of them are gonna have a daily planner or a weekly planner, you know, like a journal, like a daily journal, when they write down all the stuff that they need to do, the events they need to take place, they need to attend. Like they're gonna write down, and they like things written down because they like to have all the details settled in a very structured way, and they like to, you know, just for them to make sure that they followed everything they need to follow through, if that makes sense. Because like I said, they like structure, you know, so that's like they like to write down things, and that's not only goes as far as planning, because speaking of writing, this is actually also an excellent placement to make for a writer, okay? Virgo is an excellent placement to make for a writer, not even just Mercury in Virgo. The same applies for a Virgo rising, Venus in Virgo, Sun in Virgo, Moon in Virgo, but especially when Mercury is in Virgo, because Mercury is the way we text and write. So this makes for an excellent writer, like I said, and also one writer that, one of the many, I checked many writers that have this placement and I noticed a pattern, but one of them is J.K. Rowling. I think she has either a Virgo stellium, and if it's not a stellium, it's more than one placement in Virgo. She has, I think, Mercury in Virgo, and she has a Virgo rising, and maybe also Sun or Moon in Virgo. I think she's also a Moon in Virgo. I think so. I hope I'm not confusing, but I think she also has Mercury in Virgo. Well, anyways, yeah, point is a lot of writers have this, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, J.K. Rowling also has her Mercury in Virgo as well as her Moon and ascendant in Virgo. She has like Virgo, like strong Virgo energy. And Mercury here makes for a Virgo, because the Mercury here is at home in Virgo. It operates on a very, the Virgo energy here operates on an ideal level. That's why having Mercury in Virgo is almost equal as having Sun and Ascendant in Virgo together, or Moon in Virgo even, because even though it's a bit different because the Moon is different than Mercury, the Virgo energy, you know, when placed in the Moon, it also operates very, very high because the Moon is a very predominant placement in our natal chart, in our birth chart. I hope it makes sense. Well, if you're somewhat knowledgeable about astrology, it probably makes sense to you. If you're completely new to astrology and it doesn't, you know, you still, if you feel like you're somewhat clueless to what I just said, then you'll learn. Just continue watching the video. But the point is, you know, with all that being said, it's an excellent placement for a writer. A lot of famous writers have that placement, and it's very ideal, for a writer. And the thing is, the opposite of Virgo is Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house, right? And Virgo rules the 6th house. But and this is something, you know, the writing talent here, the skill at writing, it's something it's something that Virgo here takes away from the opposite Pisces, right? Because Mercury in Pisces and Mercury in the 12th house is the house that is ruled by Pisces. It's also an excellent placement for a writer, and many famous writers like Ernest Hemingway has Mercury in the 12th house of Pisces. The opposite of Virgo, because Virgo and Pisces pull that away from each other. They both carry a talent in writing. You see, that's why I mention it, just so you guys know that this is something Virgo pulls away from the opposite. It's something that they pull from the opposite Pisces, okay? This is just one element that I think is very crucial to mention in my teaching here in this video. I think it's also because I think it also really helps me to explain this placement and I think I'm very keen at explaining this placement because I know this placement personally. I don't have Mercury in Virgo, but when I say I know this placement personally, I mean that many people, I've been around people, the majority of my life, the people that have surrounded me have strong Virgo energy. If it's not Mercury, it was all of the other personal planets. Or it was Mercury in Virgo, but they also had like a Virgo stellium. Could be because my 8th house falls in Virgo, so I carry a lot of that. I tend to attract Virgo people that have predominant heavy Virgo energy. Well, moving on, Mercury in Virgo, you know, it can be somewhat, you know, because they are very aware of time, you know, unlike the opposite Pisces is very oblivious to time. Virgo is very aware, and not only that they're very aware, but the sense of timing is very important to them, meaning they are very punctual. Punctuality is very important to them, and they might have little to no patience to people who do not align with their sense of timing and punctuality, like Pisces. You know, they say opposites, you know, in astrology opposites attract and everything. Well, it really depends on maybe like other placements, maybe like Venus, but I feel like in this sense, Virgo and Pisces, they're very, very much, they're different in this sense, you know. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, because you know, whether or not they attract Pisces, people, you know, attracted to that, or you know, whatever, you know, because the opposites on some, you know, level attract each other, right? But what I'm saying, they might not be compatible, you know. This is one of these opposites in astrology that are not compatible, I think, you know, because Virgo is against everything Pisces is all for, you know what I mean? But whatever, anyways, yeah. So with all that being said, moving on, I think I'm pretty much this video is not going to be too long, because combining it with part one of the Mercury in Virgo video I made, I think can pretty much sums it all. But I'm trying to think about something last to add in this video. Yeah, they can, depends on the rest of the chart. You want to see where the moon is placed. They might be a bit of they might be a bit neurotic, and because Virgo is a very neurotic energy, right? So it's somewhat of a nervous energy. And usually I notice that in people who have Mercury in Virgo, they usually have either the Sun in Virgo as well. Usually the Sun and Mercury is in Virgo, because Sun and Mercury are very close to each other. Or they have just auto placements in Virgo, but usually it's Sun. From my experience, usually it's Sun. Usually people who are Sun signs Virgo, they also have their Mercury in Virgo. Or their Moon in Virgo. Yeah, it's pretty common, at least from what I've seen. Or at least, I don't know, I feel like it's easier to find people who have at least 2 to 3 planets in Virgo than other signs. Yeah, so they can be a bit nervous. And you know what, and the last thing I'll add in this video, that they also can be a bit shy. They can be a bit shy, and when I say shy, I mean more like their shyness comes from their modesty, because they're modest. So they might not be very, when they speak in a when they participate in a conversation, and when they speak, they might not want to take charge of the conversation, you know what I mean? Unlike Mercury in Leo, Mercury in Capricorn, they don't necessarily like to they like to make their point, but they're not going to fight their opinion to death, you know what I mean? They're not going to take charge over the conversation. They're not really driven by those instincts and impulses it needs, That's what I mean by Virgo is somewhat of a modest energy here, for Mercury. And in general, Virgo is kind of modest, At least if you compare it to Leo and Capricorn, they're kind of modest, Their ego will only go to a degree. You know what I'm saying? They might have an ego, but it will go to a degree. Their ego more operates on the fact that they have very little patience for unintelligence and stupidity, and lack of punctuality, and usually they do possess their ego is more. They do have somewhat of an intellectual ego, where they feel like they are smarter than the people around them. Like they're the smartest person in the room. But the thing is that many times they are kinda, because like I said, it's an ideal placement for Mercury. It makes for the intelligence here in Mercury, with Mercury in Virgo, the intelligence and the intellect of the mind here operates on an ideal level. So usually they just might be the smartest person in the room, But that's just how far the ego would go, you know what I'm saying? The ego is somewhat intellectual, but also to a degree, because it's very practical to a degree, Because it's not that they're, it's unlike other signs like Aquarius, Leo, Capricorn. They're not it's kind of, they just notice, they can see to BS. So if you feed them BS, they're just gonna point it out, and they're gonna feel like the smartest person in the room, or that they're smarter than you, only because you feed them BS. You know what I mean? It makes sense. It's practical. That's what I'm saying. It is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's not like one of those, that they're so entitled, or they're so intellectually superior and think they're better than others, and because some placements like Mercury in Aquarius, they can be very intelligent, and sometimes Mercury in Aquarius is just an example to give, just so you guys really get the whole picture. like when we have Mercury in Aquarius, this is a very intelligent placement for the mind as well, because Aquarius is pretty much the higher octave of Mercury, you know. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. It's somewhat of a genius placement, but Aquarius can be so full of themselves, you know. Yes, they're very intelligent, and even if they are more intelligent, because Aquarius, like I always say in my videos, it rules the future. So they have a very futuristic mind, literally. That doesn't necessarily give them the right to be entitled, you know. Even if they are geniuses, it doesn't mean that they have this, it gives them the right to be entitled over others. This is what Aquarius, especially Mercury and Aquarius people, need to understand. But here with Mercury and Virgo, they understand that just because they're, you know, very smart and very intelligent, even if they're most intelligent in the room, that doesn't mean that they have to boss other people and all the people around, you know. So it's kind of, that's what I'm saying. Mercury is balanced here with Virgo, because Virgo is very balanced, you know. It's a balance of high intelligence and modesty. And yeah, so with all that being said, guys, you know, please do book a reading with me. I do live sessions, I do video chat sessions, and I also have the option of making private video for just for like an hour, 2 hours, for just $10, because they have 50% sale going on. So it's a really good deal. You can also video chat with me and ask me questions. I can do either one private video. I can make a private video for a client, or do a video chat with a client. So it's a pretty good deal, because I give you my full service, my full knowledge for very little price. $10 is practically nothing compared to other services that I see online. And I, you know, can make it even $7 if you're someone that's really struggling, you know, financially, but you want a reading. Yeah, so there's that. And also, you know, give me feedback down below, subscribe, hit the like button, and also yeah, I also have links down below that you can, you know, if you want a reading, you can pay to one of the links down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.